Hi everyone, this is going to be a tutorial on creating a main menu. So like most games we start playing in, right, usually there's a main menu that pops up first and that you use that to actually get into the game and start the game up. I just created a first person template for this initial round of just because we've been using the third person up until now and I thought it'd be nice to have a slight change. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is create a new level. So we're going to come up here and say new level, and I'm just going to make an empty one. So create, and what this is going to do is this is going to allow me to kind of have a blank template and that I can start the game in this blank template instead of starting it in the third person. So the first thing we're going to do is save this, right? So we're going to go up here to save current level as. And it brings us into our content drawer, right? And you'll see I don't have a folder yet. I really request that you all do this. It's just helpful to have one folder that has your name on it. So this is going to just be Jen. And we're going to come in here. And so this is my new level. So I'm going to call this main menu map. Right? Level and map are synonymous in Unreal. So we're going to just call it main menu map, and I'm going to save this into my content browser. And so you can see I have this blank slate for starting up my game, and we're going to want to add a widget, right? We've done this a couple times. So we're going to go into the folder and we're going to click user interface. I just realized I forgot to make it bigger, so let me go and make this bigger. We're going to go to Tools and Debug and Reflector. This is just how it displays on the screen. This has nothing to do with the actual game. This is just so that way when you guys are watching that it's a little easier to read what's on the screen. So I just went to Tools, Debug, Widget Reflector, and made it a little bit bigger so it looks better. So now we're going to go back to Content Browser. We're in our Gen folder. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to scroll down to user interface and I'm going to make a new widget. Possibly. Widget blueprint. Right? We made these, so this is making a UI. So I just like calling it widget main menu. And we'll double click it to edit it. And we've done this already a couple times. We're going to add a canvas. And a text box, or a text. And we could just make this, you know, like, I'm just going to make up a name and I got some help. Right, we're going to call it Ty's Fury, right, Ty the Titan, and we'll make this blue, right, because Ty, the school colors are blue and yellow, and we'll make it bigger. And I'm also going to add a vertical box. You don't have to add this box for the main menu. I just saw it done and I liked it. I like the concept of it because I like things lined up pretty nicely, and this makes they're all lined up. So just by creating the box means that when I add a button, because I want to add a couple buttons, if I can spell button, and I can add that to it, and you see how it just fills the box. So if I want to change the size of the box, it changes the size of the button, and we're going to add a text field to this as well, text, and we'll add that here. So, and we can come over on the right hand side here and have it could fill in the padding, and we can, you'll see it has some padding. We'll make it bigger, so we'll say 20 left, 20 top. Oh, I have the text field, so we'll undo that. I want the button. That's why it was weird. So I want it to fill, right? And I'm gonna add 10 padding around it. And then I'm going to, you'll see that the button's over here on the right. I'm going to rename this to Start. And I will put in the text field over here that it is someplace. Oh, I need to select text. I'm going to put Start, and we're going to update the font, make it a little bigger, right? And then I'm going to duplicate this button. And so this is what I meant by, like, I have the two buttons now, and they are taking up the same space, and I don't have to worry about it, and I can rename this one to Quit. So that's what my main menu buttons are going to be, is Start and Quit. And we can add functionality to these. We'll just scroll down, click on the button, then scroll down, and you'll see we have events that we could just click on and we could add. So we're going to add one on click for the Start button, and this is why naming it is kind of helpful, right? Because now in here when we're looking, we see that we have the Start, and what this is going to do is when the button is starting, we're going to want to open a level by name. And so we could go look at our content drawer, and we have our first person, right? And it's a map. We are going to want this first person map. So that's the name we'll put in here, is first person map. And then we'll add a new, go back to the designer, click on the Quit button, and click on the on clicked. And then this one is going to be Quit. There is an option, a function that's already built in for quitting the game. So now when they hit that button, it automatically quits the game, and when they hit this button, it will load the level. So we could compile it, make sure that works. We can do Control-Shift-S or click down here and make sure everything's all saved. And we're going to close this window. We're back in the main menu. We still haven't, we still need a blueprint, right? So that it will open up that widget that we just made. So we're going to click on Content Drawer, and we're going to go back into our Gen level and right click, and we're going to create a blueprint class, and we're going to do Game Mode Base. The Game Mode base will let us create a new level for this, and we're going to just call this Blueprint Main Menu. And we're going to double click that and edit it. And so what we want to do is we want to go over to Event Graph, and we're going to click on Begin Play, and we want it to load the widget. So we're going to create widget, the widget we just made, which was widget main menu, and we need to add it to our viewpoint, and we need to connect. We'll do a compile and verify that it worked, and you see we're not saved, so we could save selected, Control-Shift-S to make sure everything's saved. And now we're in our screen here, and we can see if we could hit play, and you'll see it still didn't do anything because I need to do one more step. The next step we need to do is we need to tell the system that we want it to use the blueprint we just made as the way to open it up. And the way that that is in this world settings. Again, if you don't have world settings, you go to Window and World Settings to make sure that you have this tab open. And we're going to come over here and you're going to see in Game Mode Override, we want to open up our main menu. Now when we hit play, you'll see we get our Ty's Fury, and we get a start button and a quit button that we can hover over. Now if I click in here, I lose my mouse. So that is something else we want to go update, is we want to add options in our thing so that we could keep our mouse inside that frame. So we're going to go over and we're going to actually open up the widget again and add an option to our start menu. So if we go back to the graph, and you'll see we have our open by level, and what we need to do is we don't want the event tick, right? The event ticks every second. We don't want that. So what we want is event construct. And what we're going to do is add a get player controller, right? We want to get the mouse button, and so that's what this is going to do, is going to get the information. So you can see it like returns the player controller from the screen. And we're going to click from out here and we're going to set the show mouse cursor. So this is, if we want to make sure that this is checked. So that means like when we open up our main menu, we want to always have our mouse being shown. So that's what we're doing here, is we're setting that. So then we're going to click from the event construct to do that. And then we also want to add one more option, which is to set the input mode to UI only. So that means we're not playing in the game yet. So we're just going to be doing this, and we're going to take from the value from here and put it also into the controller. Now to pretty things up, if you want, you can click on the line, the connector between these two. If you double click it, right, you get the little node that makes it so if you move your mouse so you get the arrows, you can just move it around so that the connector lines don't go through the actual blueprints. Here is just for readability. We do want to do one more thing, which is basically the opposite of what we just did here. So this is when our main menu is starting and we want to make sure we always have our mouse in our window. Well, this is when the game is starting and we want the mouse to go away and we just want the controller to be there. So we're going to select the get player controller and the set. We're going to copy those, so Control C and Control V, and I'm just using the right mouse click to move it around. And so what I'm going to do is add these, and what we're going to do is the different than what we did before, right, is we're going to connect, but instead of show mouse cursor, we want to not show it. So we're going to uncheck that. And then like up here, we showed UI mode only. So now what we want to do is game mode only. So set input mode, game mode only, right? Because now we're going to be in game mode. And we need to remember to connect our controller to that to that option. And again, double clicking here just to move it so that the lines don't overlap. And we're going to hit compile and save all just to make sure everything's saved. So now I'm going to get out of this and go back to this menu and start it up. So now you can see we have our Ty's Fury. We can click around here and nothing happens. We quit and it brings us back, and we can go back in and we hit start. And so now you can see we're in the third person game right off the bat. So I could hit escape to get out of that and to end the thing. So that is us creating a main menu for our game and creating a new level and how to introduce that and how to go back and forth with switching to our new level.